Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we will be working on auto jump. I think that's a good feature to implement. And I think this is the last episode I will record with this broken laptop because after this one I will be back at my home office and there I have a much better desktop computer, right? So let's see if this broken laptop can hold for one extra episode. Right, so what we currently have, we already have a server and a client. Let me just resize these two windows. Okay, so we can start up the server first. And to do that, we can build the development server. And then we can run the server build. And here we can also prepare the client. So this is going to build the development version of the client, and this is going to run the client. Okay, so the building of the server has finished. I added this log, this build OK, so we can know what is taking so long, right? In this case, the compilation is taking a little bit of time because you already know. I need to take a look into that. We are currently using the default loop. Okay, so this time it worked. That is very strange. That is indeed very strange. I need to take a look into the libviv configuration we currently have. Okay, but as you can see, I'm walking right and we are just hitting the wall, right? And here the same thing, right? So my goal with this video is to implement auto jump. So whenever a player collides with a block that is one tile high or less, we are simply just going to automatically move it like upwards. You don't need to jump, basically. This is a very fun structure. I know, like, sometimes I come here and I play off outside of the videos, right? Just to explore the kinds of caves we generate. And sometimes we actually generate some really interesting caves. For example, this is a very interesting cave, right? Because you can explore this and you can go very deep, right? This one is even better. The one we have on the right, right? You see here? Because you imagine like we have other layers besides stone and ores, like you could actually go very deep and explore a lot of stuff. But okay, so we just need to modify the clients. So we can go to the clients, and basically my idea is here when we do actor move right or left, we check the collision, right? I don't know if I'm going to do this here on this function or if I should do that here. I'm still not 100% sure. I think I'm just going to do that here, maybe. I can change that later, right? So here is very simple. We just need to check after we've done all of that. We need to check if the collision box height is actually, we need to do that above, right? Yeah, so if the collision box height is less or equal to one tile, that's basically 1, we need to do something else. We actually do that, right? So we only going to do that if we collide this with a block or a wall, basically, or a block that is bigger than one tile in height. And if it is that, then we just need to move the new box. So here we don't actually need to move anything. We can keep the step size. We actually just need to move Y, right? By whatever it is, a collision box height, I believe, right? And here the height, yeah, is always going to be positive, right? And here we are not going to set the collided flag because we are going to like assume it's just moving left, right? So it didn't collide with anything. We just move left and up in the same step, right? And here you need to continue because the accumulation may not have finished, right? So we are going to auto jump and continue to iterate this algorithm. I think that's everything, right? And the right, on the right we do the same thing. So we can just copy that and move all of this into a separate block, right? So here I think we also need to add the height. Is it add or actually subtract, right? Well, this is actually very, because if you collide it with something on the top, oh, that's a corny case I didn't think about. But let me do something. So here we actually need to subtract height because we want to go up, right? We want to go up, and then, well, but we need to check if it collided. The block is actually on the foot of the player. That's a lot of corny cases, but let's try this implementation first. Okay. So we are falling from the sky. Okay, so if I move right, this should automatically jump. Exactly, it looks very good. Okay, so it automatically jumps, which is good. This is basically implementation I want. I'm actually going to detach the camera from the player, and the camera is like going to follow the player with some lag, in air quotes, so we don't have this this super snappy camera, you see? Like this is what I want. I just want a more fluid camera, but the player is perfectly fine, right? The player is perfectly fine. So let me see if I can actually, oh no, I don't want to follow. Oh, this created a very, because now I can actually do something like this, right? I can come back. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but maybe it's like a game mechanic, nice game mechanic. Because I can basically fall down, I can grab onto the wall and come back up. Maybe this is a good game mechanic, maybe it's not. Like, it kind of prevents me from falling. Let me try to do one thing. So if I go to the configuration, I think the first thing off, the player speed is too high, right? So if I reduce the player speed, this is kind of an emerging mechanic that I didn't really expect, but I kind of like it. So it's like you can imagine that the player is starting to fall, but then it grabs onto the wall and pushes himself back up, right? Maybe that's a good thing. But as you can see here, now we are auto jumping, which is cool. Let me come to the same place and see if the same happens. Yeah. So, but with a smaller speed, like, yeah. Okay. But oh, so here this is something that I don't like, right? This kind of mechanic makes it very hard to fall into holes. So the first thing I probably want to do to make this mechanic work a little bit better is to check I only do this if the actor is touching the ground, right? If it's not touching the ground, then I don't want to auto jump. That's the first thing I want to do. Maybe I can keep this mechanic, this like grabbing the wall mechanic, by just having this second check. Let's see. Okay, so if we move right, yeah, I think this speed is much better for the player itself. Like we can imagine that if you have trees and stuff to explore, maybe it's a bit too low, but let's see. Okay, so now I can, yeah, now it works much better, but it's, so here, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense because, yeah, it's like climbing the wall because here we have three separate tiles, right? We basically have three separate tiles. And you're basically grabbing onto all of them and just like this would be a good mechanic for ladders, right? So you can basically grab ladders and climb up things, but this is not what we want when we are dealing with a map. So I think that we actually need a second check here. So if we get a collision with a height less than 1, and the actor is touching the ground. We also need to check. So after we've done that, we need to check what have I just done. Okay, so we just need to check. What am I pressing? Okay, I think I'm pressing page down or something. Okay, so we need to check once again if this player is colliding with something on the left. Because if it is colliding with something on the left, let me bring paint. Okay, so this is the current problem, right? I didn't anticipate it, and this is very interesting. So imagine we have a grid, right? So this is our map. And here we have a tile, right? Here we have another tile, and here as well. So we can basically simulate what was happening on the real game, right? And here we have another tile. And here we have our player. So the player is going to move left, and it's going to collide with this object, right? Or this one, actually. It may actually be colliding with this one. And since it's, but I'm basically going to move him up that amount, and it's still going to collide, so it's fine. Okay, so it's basically going to collide with any of these tiles. This algorithm is going to work with any of these tiles. It doesn't matter the order of the collision, right? So it's going to collide with any of them. The height is going to be 1, right? Because the height of any of those tiles is 1. So we're going to move it up, right? And now what is happening is that we keep checking the collision, and since it's always colliding with the tile, right? So the height of the collision is always 1. We keep moving like up again and then up again. So in 4 steps, the player basically climbs a vertical wall. So what we are going to do now is that the player is here, it moves left, it collides. Okay, we check if the height of the tile is less than 1. If it is, we move it up and we check the collision again. And if it still collides, we revert that change, right? We revert it. And we do the other algorithm that we had previously. So here, basically what we have to do is we check the collision with the new box, right? And if it still collides, we need to do that once again, right? So we currently have 2 branches. I don't know if you can just compact them a little bit more. So let me think. We can negate that. Will that improve? So if it is not that, because here we break the loop, right? Well, to begin, we don't need, oh, actually we do. Yeah, I'll think about compacting this. I don't like having these 2 thingies, but I'm not really being able to think on something that makes it a little bit more compact and at the same time is readable, right? I want to keep it readable. So let's keep it like this for now. Okay, let's try to do the same thing for the right movements. So here we do that, but we need to check once again that, right? And here we need to do this, right? I really don't like to have this branch duplicated, but okay, let's just test it. Right, so this should prevent vertical wall climbing, I think, let's see. Okay, maybe 3 tiles per second is a speed that is too small. Maybe I can increase it to 4 or something. But okay, so here, yeah. Well, the problem is that it still snaps it. Oh, I know why. Because here we revert X, but we don't revert Y, right? So we still need to revert Y. So these branches, after all are a bit different, right? They are a bit different after all. Okay. So we can do that. Cool. So let's try that once again. I could have increased the player speed, but okay, so auto jump is working. Let me check auto jump for the left side. Oh yeah, it's also working. Cool. And now, let's say, let me first test the new mechanic we just discovered. So if I just fall a little bit and try to climb it back up, can I do that? No, okay. Oh, because I'm not touching the ground, of course. And here, I'm trying to climb, but I cannot. Why is it still like doing that if I... Does it do the same thing for the right side? I need to have something to enable me to test it. Can I do... Maybe I can find a place to test the right side somewhere. I'm trying to check. Maybe this is a good place there. Okay, can fall here, and then I can come here. No, it's not doing that on the right side. So it's only the left side that is like glitching or something. What's happening with the left side? On the right side, we do new box y plus that, and then we do new box y plus that. So why is it? That is very strange indeed. So we check the same thing. Height is less than 1 and it's touching the ground. Here we revert y. Here we revert y. What's the difference between these two? So they use the same thing. That is super strange, to be honest. That is very strange. Let me just increase the player speed first, like 4. And then I can probably... Let me take that. So it's only the left side is not working, right? So yeah, I'm using height. Y, that's correct, right? Here I subtract, here I add. So yeah, let me just add a printf or something. A float, and here I need to do that before, and here I can do after. Maybe it's like the addition, that the imprecision on the addition or something. Let's see. Okay, so auto jump is working. Yeah, the next thing I probably I'm going to work on is like the detaching the camera from the player, because I don't like that snappy camera. But let's see. So here, yeah. Oh, it's basically imprecision, right? It's basically imprecision. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay. Can I... Oh, my... No. Oh, yeah, it crashed. Okay. So basically, let me just try something first. So, this is the before thingy. I'm going to do that. Because that is an easy fix for it, right? I just need to do that. But I want to make sure that that's exactly the problem. And then I can do this. And here I can put that. And here I can put that, right? Right, I can even actually do... Well, but let me keep it like this, so it's more realistic. Okay, so here, let's try again. So I can just store the value in the temporary variable and then just copy it. So we don't do floating point operations and we keep the precision. That's one option, but let's see. So auto jump is working, and auto jump is also working here, right? Yeah. So let me just take a look at this. Yeah, it's already full of imprecision. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Okay, so if I come here, let me move this window here. Okay. So if I tap left, so before we have 120.19, 120 points. So let me just tap it again. A single press. Okay. Yeah, basically it's the same. So we have 120.19. So this floating point is on the 20.19, and the subtraction gives us 19.39, right? And then this is 19.39, but this, for some reason, oh, this is after the collision. Okay. And then, well, what am I doing here? Yeah, okay, so that value, this one should be equal to that one, right? Let's see. So this 120.19 gets actually converted to 120.00, right? So by adding and then subtracting again, we just lose 0.19 of like height, which is not good, right? It's not very good. So let's close that down. And we actually need, so the revert thingy is going to happen instead of adding and subtracting stuff from that. We can just do something like this. So vector2 reverts, right? So this is going to be my revert vector, and the revert vector is basically going to always store these values at the beginning of the iteration, right? So we cache that, then we do the sum. Well, I can actually put that in the same line. Then we do the sum, then we don't need any of this. So this is the revert. We change the new box X and we change the new box Y. But now we want to revert both. So to revert both, we just do revert, instead of adding, we just do equals revert Y, and then here we just do equals revert X, right? And here the same thing. So we don't want to revert it by doing the inverse arithmetic operation. We just want to copy the value. So that's the only way we can have full precision with floating points, right? Because floating point operations are not precise, right? That's the downside of using that instead of integers, right? But this should now like be 100% precise in terms of reverting changes, right? So we do the same thing for the right. Even though the right was not having problems, we can just do the same thing to guarantee that there is no problem. So here we just cache whatever is the most recent box, X and Y. And then when we want to revert it, we just revert that by copying it instead of doing adds and subtractions. And this is Y, and here we have X, and here we have X. So now collisions should be 100% precise and should also not flicker when colliding with something that is greater than one tile. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, 4 of speed to the player is brilliant. I think that's the actual speed I'm going to use from now forward. Okay, so now if I try to do something like this, I jump, yeah, I cannot do that, and here it no longer flickers, you see? I'm pressing left and the player is stationary, right? So let me try to test the right side, and to test the right side, I can go to here once again, right? This position. So let me try to navigate this cave and get there. Okay, cool. And yeah, it doesn't flicker, right? It just works. Pretty cool. And now I'm trapped. Okay, so yeah, I think that's working. So we were able to implement auto jump, right? It was a bit harder than I expected. We had some troubles with floating point operations, and we had to check this other thingy. But overall, I think we actually have everything, right? I'm trying to see if there is anything else we can do, but I think that's it, right? Oh, and there was a bug. Yeah, that's the only thing I changed offline. There was a bug that we could indefinitely jump. So because we were not testing is touching ground, and we could just spam the space bar, and we would fly. So, but now it's working. I can show you. So if we spam the space bar, we don't do anything, right? We don't do multiple jumps. Yeah, as you can see, like I'm spamming it, but nothing is happening. Okay, but let me just explore. I'm just curious to explore that huge cave, like on the right side that I saw. Okay, this is Earth to navigate. I'll need to do some very difficult jump. Oh, no. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I can no longer leave this place. Okay, whatever. Yeah, that's everything. So thank you for watching, and I see you in the next one.